the Singer Quantum stylus does some embroidery. I actually was asked if I could embroider for a quilt that a friend of mine is going to make, and instead of using my larger embroidery machine, instead of the Superb here, I'm going to just go ahead and do it on this smaller one here. Here is a stabilizer that I just picked up so that I can use it on the fabric, which makes it a little easier. So I have 8x6 piece here. So I've used some batting adhesive on the back of this cotton for this interfacing here. And make sure that when you use the spray, you're maybe outside or you lay a piece of paper down, the stuff gets very sticky. Sewing setting, and I'm going to show you how I actually get there to do my embroidery. So right down here is the alphabet that you can pick from. Now it gives you a setting that you can pick, and it'll tell you what foot that you need if you're going to do the embroidery here. So I will be changing out my foot as well. Right now I have my A foot on, and then I will just go and pick my B foot. Now this machine actually comes with a bunch of different feet dogs here, so you'll want to make sure that you just take a pick at all of your different ones and get familiar with them. So for the feet dog, I will grab that here in just a second, and I'm going to go right down here, and I'm going to select my lettering, and it's going to give me a whole bunch of different ones that I want. This button will actually also go through some numbers as well, if you want the numbers to be changed, and we can go into that another time. Right now I'm just going to pick my letters. And she has picked the third one in. And now that I have that selected, I'm going to go ahead and just grab my foot dog and make sure I put that on there. So I actually have my foot down inside my little drawer here with some extra feet dogs and my button one, and I have my zipper. So the ones that I use a lot, I actually go ahead and keep in here. So just to release this one here, you just push the back of the button, take it off. I'm going to store it back in there so I don't lose it. Now I've already picked the color that I'm going to use that the customer wanted. In my bobbin, I have just a white thread in there. My pieces are already measured out, and so I know I'm going to kind of want that in the center for her. So I've just put my piece like kind of in the center of it, and because I know that it's going to land in the center of the blanket of where she wants it, this will be a middle square. I want to put the saying kind of like in the center of the square here that it's going to be going on. I'm going to go ahead and just mark it, and I think this will be easier way probably for me. All right, to select my lettering, so I'm going to, I've already got my letters, my font picked that she wanted. And I'm just going to scroll through till I find my letterings that I want. Now, if you keep kind of going, scrolling through, I'm going to go backwards because that's how I can find all these different little fonts and stuff here. If I go through, it's going to take me all the way through the alphabet and keep me going all the way until I get to the lower case lettering. Now I'm going to keep these in a bold. So I'm going to scroll back to my left, and I'm going to find my space. So to bring my space in between my lettering, I'm going to pick this square, and you got to select the button right underneath it, and then that will give you your space, and it will put the square in there. And then I'm just going to keep going through and selecting the next lettering that I want. And then I gotta pick another space, so I'm going to scroll back again. Now I've selected the lettering that I want in there, and I'm only gonna put so much that I want in this first row. And the reason being is because I have to stop and then move down a row. So if I stop and then I go to start again, it's going to repeat the first letters that I put in there. So just try to remember that when you stop, it will start again and repeat. So let's go ahead and put our first row in there. I've got my material still right where I want it. And make sure that if you're using your foot pedal, that it isn't plugged, because if you go to push start, it's not going to let you do anything. And then just kind of hold on to your fabric, just making sure that it's still lining up in the space that you want it to go. So as you can see, it kind of shows you like what letter you're actually on at that point in time as it's sewing. Now I have found with the Quantum Stylus that this actually is a nice little embroidery machine. You cannot make the letters any bigger than they already are. The fonts that you can change on it. But other than that, I find that it's a pretty nice embroidery machine. So this is what it's looking like. So the next lettering, grandkids, it's a little long. So I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and come back a little ways on that. And so I've cleared out my lettering. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in for my next row. And just right where I want to be, lining my foot up with underneath the next bit of letterings that I have there. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see that. So I'm just putting my presser foot just underneath that lettering, and that's what I'm using for my spacing. Okay guys, so this is what I have, and as you can see, I still got a little close to that. I probably should have came back just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and do our next row. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have this cleared out and start my next row. I actually line this up so it's a little bit more into the center of the last words that I put in there. Get it to line up so that it looks kind of nice in there. Alright, so I've marked my spot with a marker pen. I'm going to go ahead and put my presser foot down as to where I want my S to begin, and let's get my letters in there. I've cleared out my last lettering and making sure it's clear. So there we have it, and let's go ahead and get this embroidered on. Alright, so now it's going to do the So Beautiful. Alright, this is what we have. Looks pretty good. So as you can see, the lettering is a little bit small, but you know, it looks pretty good on that size there. I don't think it looks too bad. So here I'm actually on my lettering fonts right here, and it actually gives you an indication too. It tells you what feet dog that you need to use. I've got my B in there already, and I'm in the lettering. So if I want to continue to go to the lettering to decide which one you want, you just hit the letter down here, and you can pick the different styles of lettering that you want. Each one is really nice. That's some big and bold. And then as you go through and you do pick them, it's going to give you the option to pick the lowercase lettering as well. As you go through there. Now to get to the designs that you want, just continue to hold that button down till you get to your numbers that come up with the designs, and then you can scroll through and decide which ones you want. There's quite a few different picks that you can do. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick a design here. So I'm in my letters and my numbers here, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't pick a design. Now I'm going to come down into here and scroll through for my designs a little bit. And again, it also gives a number of what you may want. I do apologize about the glare there. So I've picked a design right here, this little one. I want you guys to see how well this does here. The designs look pretty neat.